Okay, so when you think about renewable energy, you probably picture these giant solar farms, right? Or massive wind turbines spinning on a hill. But what if I told you the next big thing in electricity comes from a source you see every single day? A living tree.
I know. It sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, doesn't it? The idea that the tree in your own backyard could actually power the lights in your house? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into. And believe me, the reality is even cooler than you think.
And just to be super clear, this is real. This isn't a concept, this is technology being developed and deployed right now, and it has the potential to change millions of lives. So first, let's talk about the why, the problem it's designed to solve, and then we'll get into the amazing how.
To really appreciate just how genius this solution is, we have to wrap our heads around the size of the problem. For so many people across the globe, just flipping a switch and getting electricity isn't an option. Just think about this. In sub-Saharan Africa alone, you've got over 600 million people living completely off-grid. For a lot of them, the only way to cook a meal or get some light at night is by burning wood. And while that's essential for survival, it comes with a huge, huge cost. It creates this really destructive cycle, you know? It fuels deforestation, it's bad for the climate, and it traps communities, preventing them from getting the modern electricity they need for things like schools and hospitals. But a new wave of incredible African innovators is tackling this problem head-on. They asked a brilliant question. What if we could get power from a tree without ever having to cut it down? And that question leads us right to the first part of the answer. It's this fascinating natural phenomenon called bioelectricity. Yeah, you heard that right. We're talking about generating power, literally, from the soil. So what in the world is bioelectricity? Well, at its core, it's just electricity that's made by a living thing. And with plants, it gets really interesting. As a tree just does its thing, living and growing, it naturally creates the small but constant electrical charge between its trunk and the dirt around it. Here's the simple version of how it works. Through photosynthesis, the tree creates that voltage difference. The tree and the soil basically become the two ends of a natural battery, like the plus and minus terminals. So all you have to do is stick a simple copper electrode in the tree, a zinc one in the soil, and boom, you can tap into that steady flow of electricity. And the result is just incredible. You get this reliable, non-stop source of power. It works day, night, rain, or shine. Now, it's not a ton of power from one tree, but it's definitely enough to handle the basics like LED lights and charging up a phone. But believe it or not, this is only half the story. To really kick things up a notch, the innovators added a second, super clever method that works right alongside the first one. It uses the power of the wind, but probably not in any way you've ever thought of before. Now, the triboelectric effect sounds really complicated and sciencey, I get it. But